Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Cookery Food Festival. We've specially organised the sun to shine for you this weekend, so we hope you enjoy your experience here in Cookery. It's nice to see visitors here. Our first act of the day is Mary Newton and Ken Mickey, who are from Maggies Tours, and Mary will give you a wee bit of background into Maggies Tour, which is essentially street theatre. It's a historical walking town, which is great fun in the summer if you're here. So anyway, I'll hand you over to Ken and Mary. Thank you.
Well, my name is Mistress Maggie Guthrie, and this gentleman is Mr. Kenneth Mickey, and he will start you off with some of the knowledge of this town. Will I just get the pans on? Now, the school were a bit miserable. I was all for doing it totally in period, but they said I couldn't light a fire in the middle of the floor.
Maggies Tour, our street theatre that we do 4 Friday evenings in the summer festivities, is set in the year 1651, and that is where we are trying to be today. So, general living conditions in 1651 in Kirkcudbright. Small houses, 2 rooms, to a certain extent the traditional butt and ben.
Can I just interrupt?
Of course.
I'm going to start off with the soup. Now, I want to get it ready so that you can all have a taste. And I got some chicken stock in the best Blue Peter tradition I have made earlier out of my freezer, and I will start. Get that.
And Mary knows she's free to shut me up at any time to say what she's doing, and I might do the same to her at one point. Right, small house, butt and ben, humans on one side, possibly the animals on the other side.
Keep you warm in the winter.
Housing for ordinary people, the facilities for cooking, a fire in the middle of the floor with a hole in the thatched roof for the smoke to get out. Cooking utensils, a pot which can take anything with liquid, and a girdle which can take dry things. No ovens, obviously.
Just 1 minute. The first step, the barley. Very nutritious, very filling. Goes into the soup.
And while we're on about barley, we talk about Scots and oats, but barley was there before oats. Barley was the staple grain. Oats were certainly coming in by our time, but not so common perhaps, and wheat was a long way down the line.
Doesn't grow very well in west of Scotland. It's too wet.
If you're cooking that way on an open fire and eating the food from it, what have you got to eat it with? Well, you've got a knife, obviously. You've got a spoon, possibly a horn spoon. These are modern horn spoons, but they're beautiful feel to them. You can have a wee stroke later. And no forks. Forks were something that had come over from France and were a bit decadent. And they probably hadn't reached Kirkcudbright by this time.
They say it was Anne Boleyn that brought the forks from France. And we all know what kind of woman she was. I'm going to put the carrots in now.
Right. Source of ingredients. I found a lovely quotation in a book. If you can't grow it, fish it, catch it, or forage for it, you can't have it.
Basic.
Basic, yes. There were possibly some imports through Kirkcudbright Harbour, because at this time Kirkcudbright was a free port. It was one of the 6 free ports in Scotland, and there would be commerce. But whether the ordinary folk would get any of that, I do not know. It probably went all to the gentry.
Always does. Did you notice that?
The agriculture's limitations also had an effect. Climate, as we've mentioned already, basic tools for agriculture, and basically lack of knowledge about fertilisers and how to improve the stock.
Basic fertiliser. Still used in China. I'm going to put some onions in. Can you cook anything savoury without an onion? Doesn't it taste right?
Foods available would change with the season. seasons much more than in our day, obviously. Lack of transportation and lack of preservation, although there were methods of preserving foods.
Leeks.
Leeks.
These are toty wee bits of leek, because my leeks didn't grow very well this year. They're not an awful lot bigger than when I put the seedlings in. There you go, that's life. I'm going to put in some of the sliced meat. I've sliced them quite thin, because they do take quite a bit of cooking. I did wash my hands. I was told to wash my hands. Can you see the point of it? Why would you keep using that good soap and water to wash your hands? All I've done is feed the chickens and muck out the peg. It's fine, it's fine.
Other sources of grain, the pulses, peas and beans, could be made into meal and used. Peas brose again, Mither was an old Scots song, and peas porridge still can be made. But we're just not sure. I'm fairly sure there must have been wee turnips around somewhere.
There's kale here from my garden, picked it this morning, but as you can see, the caterpillars were it. I washed it, there's no caterpillars on it, but they were a wee bit hungry this year.
Onions, yes. Wild garlic, mushrooms in season, leeks probably, herbs, sorrel, dandelion, sage, parsley, hyssop. We had a wee discussion about hyssop, and there was something in the Bible about purge me with hyssop and I shall be something or other. We thought, that sounds a bit awkward. But the hyssop in the Bible is not the hyssop that grew in Scotland. It's one of the mint family, and it's very strongly flavoured, so you don't use much of it. So if you're ever tempted to use hyssop, call canny.
Very cold peas.
Seaweed. Seaweed was used, could be used, dulse, tangles, carrageen. This being a coastal town, probably people did use some seaweed in their cooking. And no potatoes. Potatoes did not reach Scotland before about 1700.
Imagine that.
And
a vegetable, a novelty.
Of course, the history of potato eating was that people tried eating it raw, and it was a bit nasty anyway, but seemingly poisonous. I don't know how it can be poisonous raw and then fine when it's cooked. But anyway, potatoes are not on the menu. We've got our kale stuffy.
We've got our soup going very, very nicely, and I'm just keeping an eye on the time, which they wouldn't have been able to do anyway in those days. But the soup would have been put on the fire in a great big cauldron, and it would have been left to cook as long as the fire was lit, until it was time for you to eat. And a soup and bread of soup and oat cakes is a very, very nourishing, nutritious meal for nowadays. If you want to eat healthily, soup with vegetables and some bread, you have got a very good meal, particularly if it's got something like barley, peas, beans, anything like that, the pulses. That gives you protein. Though they didn't know it in those days, that's what they were eating. Lots of barley. They would thicken it with some oatmeal. Oats are very good for you. It keeps your cholesterol levels down. So although they were eating what would be very, very basic food, what they were eating was very nutritional. And I think we've kind of lost sight of a lot of that nowadays. So in a couple of minutes, I'm going to let you taste the soup if you would like to. Don't feel obliged to taste it. But it is just really a good chicken broth. I'm just going to taste it to see if it's got enough salt. Because you really always have to taste as you go along to make sure that you're cooking it right. More salt. My husband always puts salt on something before he tasted it. It used to annoy me intensely. I always used to say, taste it before you try it. Before you put the salt on, you don't know if it's got enough or not.
going to put a little of it into these cups.
Would anybody like to try the soup? Should have given it the other way